What's up, y'all? I'm out here at the range, as you can see behind me, on a cold, windy day. Temperature's just about to crack 30 degrees, so I hadn't even passed 30 yet. It's supposed to be mid-30s by the time the day's over with, but I probably won't see that while I'm out here. But hopefully that wind will stay calm a little bit so I can get a couple more good tests done out here. I've gotten one done so far, and this one right here should be a spicy 9mm test. So I got the jelly contraption set up, ready to roll out here with 2 chronos and a couple of blocks of gel. Now, like I mentioned, I've done one test so far. You can see it was a tumbler, so I'll leave a link up above if y'all hadn't seen that one. I've got most of this whole entire first block to work with though, so I shouldn't have any problem getting this one done. As you can see, we're keeping the jelly warm out here with the heavy clothing barrier that's got the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And what we got for this one here is something I've actually tested in the past. It's been a couple years or more that I've tested it with my old setup, and I used a couple of odd type of barrel lengths. I actually used my EZ Smith & Wesson. It's got like a 3.5 barrel, I think, 3.5 inch. And then I used my Canik TP9 SFX. It's got that 5-inch barrel. So I've had several people recently want me to retest these 9BP LEs in the standard barrels that I use for most of my 9mm. So obviously what we've got here is the Federal Ammo 9BP LE. This is their 115 grain plus P plus round. This is their LE packaged round. Now these are actually the old high shock projectiles is what this is loaded with. There you can see nice nickel plated case with that high shock projectile there. Now of course these aren't the standard issue ammo anymore, but you can still get these at several places if you look around. Now the ballistics on this is saying 1300. I'm not sure about the test barrel. If I was guessing, I would say 4.5, because on the 3.5 inch EZ last time I got around 1233, 30 something, and in the TP9 SFX we actually got 1350, so we got well over 13 out of that 5 inch. So I'm guessing a 4.5 is where they would get that 13. But either way, it's definitely some good stuff, nice and spicy, so you got good energy for a 9mm. Now personally, I'm a 124 guy, so I like the 124 plus P plus. This probably ends up a little bit less energy. I'm curious to see what it does through my MC9 though. So with that being said, obviously my test tools here for the shorty, I've got my Canik Mete MC9 with the 3.1 inch barrel, and then for the long one we've got the G17 with the 4.5 inch barrel. But there's absolutely no doubt in my mind this is going to give us some really good performance, so let's get it all set up and see what they do. All right, let's see what kind of velocity we can get from these hotties. I'm going to do a 5-round average from each one, starting with this MC9 first. Now if y'all aren't familiar with this lab radar, you're going to see multiple velocity readings. The large numbers right here at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is set for 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet, and then the others are set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Now remember, the 1300 is what they're saying on this, but I got, again, I think it was 1230 something out of that EZ, so this should probably be 1215, 1220 to around 1230, I hope anyway. Let's see what happens. 1229, 1256, 1243, 1274, and 1239. So we had one jump on up on us. Let's see what the average was. All right, so our 5-round average right there was 1248 feet per second, extreme spread of 44 with a 17.1 standard deviation. So our spread opened up a little bit because of that one hot one to 1274, but still not too terrible at all. That's going to give us some good performance in the gel. None of this really surprises me. That's definitely the kind of stuff I like to see. So let's reset it and see what the G17 does. All right, let's see what this 4.5 inch barrel does. This should be right all over that 1300, probably a little bit over if I was guessing. 1299, 1334, 1333, 1312, and 1316, so right about where I figured. Let's check out that average. All right, good stuff once again. That time our 5-round average was 1319 feet per second. We had an extreme spread of 34 with a 14.5 standard deviation, so met and exceeded that 1300 from the 4.5. Probably the test barrel length is 4.5, so 1319 here. And if you remember on that MC9, it was 1248, so you're talking about 71 feet per second difference. So really that's not going to make a whole lot of difference in the gel. gel. I think both of these are going to perform well, and they're probably going to perform very, very similar. But let's get it all reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, it's 9BPLE is the kind of thing you like to see, jelly time. I'm going to put one from each barrel length into the gel, starting with this MC9 first. Again, this stuff's going to give us really nice performance. Now, last time the penetration wasn't the greatest. It got, I think, around 12, 13 inches, depending on barrel length. So let's see what happens this time around. All right, that should have been some good stuff. Let me go check it out. All right, pretty much exactly what I expected to see right there. So let's see if we can repeat it with the G17. All right, that should have been another good one. Let me go check it out. All right, that one went a little bit lower than I'd like. I would actually just still go with that, but it actually hit the doggone safety pin that I keep at the bottom to keep the cloth barrier on. All right, that should have been a good one right there. Let me go see what I got. All right, let's check this stuff out down here. I just about got that other one too low too, but it completely stayed off the bottom all the way till the very end down there. And I'm glad I sent that second one, because this first one did. That safety pin, it hit right on the head of that safety pin, y'all. I mean, I couldn't have planned that any better if I wanted to hit that safety pin. And it just obliterated the thing. I mean, the head of it's completely gone, and you can see it caused that projectile to break up big time. But anyway, on the top up here, that was the one from the MC9. As you can see, no surprise, it comes in here, immediate expansion, really nice energy transfer, keeps on trucking through here. And once again, it's a little bit shorter on penetration than I would personally like. I would say this is between 12 and 13 inches, but you do have some very, very nice expansion. And then of course, down here on the bottom, these are from the G17. I'm not even gonna pull and look at this first one, because again, it went all to pieces. You can see there's actually a little piece of the safety pin right there, but the head of it was completely gone. I mean, it just shattered it all to pieces and made that projectile come all apart. You can see jacket and pieces of lead. There's the bulk of the lead in the jacket right there. But then behind that one, pretty much the same story other than all that fragmentation. Nice energy transfer again, all the way through the block. It goes, it's probably about 3/4 of an inch to an inch short of where this jacket ended up, but it's sitting exactly where the actual lead ended up from that first one. And once again, from what I can tell, you got very, very nice expansion. But as far as the penetration, this one here from the MC9, yeah, you're a little bit shorter than what I thought. It's actually right at 12.5 inches. So again, it meets that FBI minimum standard. And with the energy this has got, if you put that in the right place, I feel pretty sure it's going to do the job. But I personally would like a little more than that. As far as the G17, I'm just going to work with the one that we kept down here. That one is actually exactly 14 inches, so right much further than that one from the MC9. And again, still got some really, really nice expansion. And then here's your close-up look again on the top. That's the MC9. Now, it looks like a lot bigger disruption from this angle, but they're just about the same. I'll show you from the top. But again, if we follow it through here, very, very nice expansion right there. And if we drop on down here, that's the first one from the G17. But if I get you at an angle, you can see that other one back there. And if we follow it backwards, you can see it's completely independent. Very, very nice from both of them. And then here from above, you can see what I mean. On the very bottom down there, that's going to be MC9. And then the G17s down towards the bottom of the block. But you can see from this angle, you got a lot more disruption. It really just all depends on how you look at that as far as the disruption in the gel. All right, let's take a quick look at these projectiles before I turn into a doggone icicle out here. That pine tree shading it right here is cold, buddy. But as you can see, both of these, fantastic job of expansion here. This one's from the MC9, this is the G17. You can see just a subtle difference. I think you can even tell on camera. More expansion from this G17. You can see you got more of a crater left on the MC9. But that being said, both of these did a fantastic job, and there's going to be very, very little difference as far as ending size. But let's give us a couple measurements and see what we're looking at. As far as the weight, they started at 115. I would say we did lose a little bit, probably just some crumbs. This one from the MC9 is down to 114.6, so maybe no loss there. Could just be manufacturing tolerances. I don't really see anything in the gel, but I'm just assuming we probably lost a couple of crumbs. And then this one from the G17, that one's down to 114.1. So again, we probably did lose a few crumbs, but for the velocity and being a 115, those held together really nicely. And then as far as the sizes, I forgot my doggone calipers at the house, so this is going to be very difficult to get the difference between them. This one here looks to be right at about 5/8. I got a feeling both of them are going to be about the same, so about 5/8 right there. And then this the G17 here, pretty much the same thing. Both of them right at about 5/8 of an inch. I would say this G17 is a hair bigger, but nothing you can even tell without calipers. And there you go, y'all. Round 2 for the Federal 9BP LE 9mm 115 grain plus P plus. Very nice stuff right here. I mean, there was absolutely no doubt. I already knew that it was going to be really good performance. When you get the kind of velocity that these have and that the stuff I like to run has, the 124 stuff, you're going to get good performance almost every single time, no matter what. If you push stuff fast enough, it's going to perform. And that's just what you got to do with a lot of this 9mm. You need to have it going so it's going to expand and it's going to get nice penetration. Now, with this being 115, I think that's what's causing the lack of penetration, or a little bit of lack of penetration, I would say. It's still going to do the job more than likely, but that's why I personally prefer 124. It just seems like you get a little bit more penetration and still get very, very nice energy and expansion. But with that being said, I would absolutely have no problem running these right here. All right, y'all, that shade over there is about to turn me into an icicle, so I had to come find me some sun to wrap this one up. Again, really no surprise with this stuff right here. It did a fantastic job the first time and just followed up with another fantastic job through a couple more different barrel lengths. Really, really nice stuff. Now, me personally, like I've mentioned several times in the past, and I'm sure most of y'all know, I prefer the 124 just because of the penetration reasons. I think it has a little bit more energy than this. They might be about tied as far as that plus P plus that I run from Underwood. Now, I'm sure Underwood has a plus P plus 115 also. I probably tested, I just can't remember. So maybe I'll go back and see if I have or hadn't. Maybe I'll do a little head-to-head against these two and see which 115 is actually faster. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think about it. Do any of y'all out there run this 9BP LE? Do you run some other kind of plus P plus 115 or a plus P plus 124? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you reach down and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you've got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload stuff. Take a second, like I always remind you, and check out those affiliate links in the video description. Anything you grab after hitting those links up, I get a kickback from them towards the channel, so I really appreciate that. Big thanks as always to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got one more test planned for out here today if I can get it done without freezing, so y'all stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.